All right, y'all. I wanted to do a quick little video update, talk about the Bitcoin price action, and really I just wanted to lay out my plan and how I am going to be trading this in the next coming days, weeks, and really the whole month of April. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm looking for a nice swing long entry. I'm going to be talking about what I'm looking for some shorter term trades as well. We're going to talk about entries, stop losses, take profit levels, all of that. And if that sounds good to you, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. All the stuff I'm supposed to say as a YouTuber, I just said right there. So there you go. So guys, I am very bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, in the long term, I am still extremely bullish. I think Bitcoin has proven that it is doing a very good job maintaining. And if we take a look here at the daily time frame, we can see that we are trading above both the 21 EMA and the 55 EMA. And what these two lines are, if you're new to EMAs, is they're basically acting as dynamic support and resistance. Now, support is a level that price has a hard time breaking down below. So when we zoom in on the chart right here, right, we can see that this line right here is acting as a support because price was unable to come down below here. And now we can see that this 21 EMA is acting as dynamic support. The reason it's dynamic is because it's a moving average. It moves along with the price of Bitcoin. It's not a solid state horizontal line like this right here. And if we just look back historically on the daily time frame, we can see that really every time the Bitcoin price comes up and confirms above both of these moving averages on the daily time frame, it leads to a significant move upwards, right? Let's see, every single time really that it happens. It happened right here, and we got a very large move upwards. It happened right here. We got a very large move upwards. It happened again right here, and we had a very large move upwards. Now, something else that is extremely bullish on the daily time frame, guys, is the fact that on market Cipher B, we are printing a green trigger wave down below the zero line. And again, every time we print these green trigger waves down below the zero line, we get a very large move upwards, right? We printed one right here, we got a large move upward. We printed one right here, and we got a very large move upwards. Okay, we printed another one right down here, we got a very large move upwards. We printed one right here, and we got a very large move up. So here we are again, printing another trigger wave on the daily time frame. This historically is a very bullish sign, especially since we are in the middle of a bull market. But this does not mean that we just jump into a long. What we want to do is we want to zoom in onto a lower time frame. We want to analyze the price action. We want to draw some levels of support and resistance. We want to take a look at market Cipher, and then we want to come up with a plan, and that's exactly what we are going to do. So on the daily time frame, I am bullish. I am looking for a swing long entry, meaning I'm looking to enter a trade somewhere, and I'm looking to hold that trade on the daily time frame for a very long time, right? At least a week. And we can make a very large amount of profit on these long swing trades. Now, one thing to keep in mind, guys, and this is very important and very timely, is the Bitcoin futures, the Bitcoin CMA futures gap, right? We talk about this often. And basically, if you're unfamiliar with what the CME futures gap is, and you hear people talking about this a lot on the internet, this is what it is. The Bitcoin futures market only trades 5 days a week. It trades Monday through Friday, and then the weekend is off. Okay, and what this does is it creates a gap. It creates a gap in the price action. Let me show you. See how there's a gap in between this candlestick right here and this candlestick right here? That's because on Friday, the Bitcoin futures market closed at $54,000, but over the weekend, the Bitcoin price actually kept going up. So now, 2 days later, the futures market has opened again, and usually what happens is the gap in between the candlesticks will get filled. It will get filled by the Bitcoin price. We can see this happen. Let's see the last time it happened here. Let me zoom out. And actually, let me go to a 4-hour chart because it's a little bit easier to see on a 4-hour chart. But look at what happens right here, guys. This is a perfect example of that CME futures gap filling. What happened on Friday was the Bitcoin price closed at about $57,200. Then over the weekend, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of about $61,200. Now, the market was closed for 2 days. Right here, this purple candlestick is March 12th. This blue candlestick is March 14th. And a few hours after the futures market started trading again, this gap in the price, okay, it filled, and the price of Bitcoin came down and filled that gap. So currently, right now, it's very possible, because I'm recording this video right when the CME futures market began trading again, okay, on Sunday night. It's very possible that we are going to see this gap right here get filled. Okay, this is a pretty significant gap that very likely could get filled. Okay, on Friday, the Bitcoin futures market closed at $54,000, and then we open up again at 55,000 and went all the way up to 56,000 on the futures chart. So it would not surprise me if we come back down to the $54,000 level, or possibly even lower, before we get a really nice push to the upside. This is something that we really just need to keep our eyes on right now. But let's get back to the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin itself. Okay, and let's just look at things, and we're going to come up with a plan. Now, some very significant things that have happened. Number one, we printed a double bottom on the 4-hour time frame on Market Cipher. And guys, if you do not have Market Cipher and you want my Market Cipher, you can get a 10% discount if you click my affiliate link in the description of this video. Use the coupon code that's there, get a 10% discount. Market Cipher is an amazing tool. And we printed this double bottom here, and we can just go back in time and look at what happens every time we print a double bottom. It means a huge move up is coming, okay? It doesn't mean the huge move is here. It means the huge move is coming, okay? Like right here, we printed this double bottom, and then we had this huge move upward. We printed this double bottom. We had a huge move upward. We printed this double bottom. We have a huge move upward. Now, it's important to keep a few things in mind here, guys. Now, first of all, we just had a money flow cross on the 4-hour. We had money flow come from the red into the green, which means money is coming back into the asset of Bitcoin. However, we are currently in the middle of some downward momentum here. And it would not surprise me in any way, guys, if we see this price come back down and test this $51,000 level again, perhaps, okay? Or maybe even lower, maybe some FOMO selling right here. And what we might see is, another wave come down here, and that would give us a nice bounce to come up and continue in an upward trend. Now, we really can't know what is going to happen here, but here's what we're looking for. Here is what I am looking for to enter a swing long. I am looking for these moving averages. I'm looking for the 21 EMA to cross above the 51 EMA, like what we see right here. And I'm also looking for these candles to confirm above both of the moving averages, preferably get a bounce off of them, and that's when I would look to enter a long position. Okay, that's really when I would look to enter a long position, is when we have something like a money flow crossover on the 4-hour, and we have the candles confirm over both the moving averages. Both moving averages cross over each other. We have the 21 EMA above the 55 EMA, and then we get a retest of the 21 EMA. That is when I would look to enter a swing long position and hold that position for as long as possible. And if you guys are in the Discord, if you're in my private Discord, you know that we actually took a trade right here, and we rode that thing all the way up. We rode this entire move up in the Discord. And guys, if you're interested in that Discord, it's basically, the private Discord is a trading course, right, where we go over everything on how to trade from A to Z, everything, teaching you technical analysis. We go over Market Cipher in extreme detail. We actually lay out multiple strategies that you can use to win trades and become profitable. We teach you how to create your own strategy. But I also do post some of my trades in that private Discord. This was one of them, and we rode this all the way up. It was a really nice swing trade. And so, in the future, and if you're interested in that, guys, there's info in the description of the video. You can either join my Discord, message me, send me an email, or you could even go on my Patreon for more information about that. But what I'm looking for here, guys, is I'm looking for the 21 EMA to cross over the 51 EMA. I'm looking for these candles to bounce off of that, and that's when I'm looking to enter a swing long. That's the main thing I'm looking for. And then really the second thing I'm looking for is for confirmation on market cipher. So if we get something like this, where this wave comes down and prints, a green trigger wave right here, and we see this clear direction upward right after getting a money flow cross, and we see these moving averages cross over each other, that would be my signal to go long, okay? But it might not turn out that way, right? We might have some significant downward movement. In fact, we might see something like this. We might see this wave come down really far, and we might actually print, another big bottom on market cipher B before we head up again. Okay, we might get one of those fake outs where the money flow turns blue and then it turns purple again before it turns blue again before we move up. So really, we're just keeping our eyes on things, and we're going to trade what the chart says. We're not going to FOMO into anything. We're going to wait until we get our confirmations. And right now, my main confirmation is the EMAs crossing over each other, price action confirming above both of those EMAs, and then market cipher B giving me a very clear signal that we are getting bullish momentum, right? Something like this. Now, if we take a look at our other chart where I have all my levels marked out, you can see, guys, that we have been trading in this channel. Okay, this is something that is also very important because I don't just use market cipher alone. I'm also a big proponent of using basic technical analysis, and I know this is a very sloppy chart, but it's because I'm a big fan of marking out my levels, right? My key levels that I use to trade. And again, guys, if you want to learn all this stuff, I go through it in extreme detail in the course. It's a comprehensive trading course. Join my Discord, message me for more info on that. What we're looking at here is right now we are rejecting off of a daily level, and we're also rejecting off the top trend line of this channel. Okay, so what we can expect to see now is perhaps Bitcoin will come down and test these other levels. And it would not even surprise me, guys, if we came all the way down to this $48,000 level before getting a really nice bounce and continuing in a serious uptrend. It would not surprise me. This is something that we need to keep on the table here, because again, we're trading in this channel, and historically what happens? We reject off this channel, this resistance, and we come down and get a bounce off the bottom of the channel. We come up, get a rejection off the top of the channel, come down, get a bounce off the bottom of the channel, come up, get a rejection, and then our next stop would be the bottom of this channel, right? And it just so happens that this channel lines up perfectly with this weekly support level, and this weekly support level is a very strong level of support. Why is it such a strong level of support? Well, historically, it was resistance, it was resistance, it was resistance, then it got flipped into support. It was support in all this area. It was resistance here again. And so we have all this price action that was forming on this line, and now it's lining up perfectly with the bottom of this channel. So we have to watch and see what happens. So if that does happen, guys, this would give us some good opportunities to short. Obviously we would need to get confluence on market cipher on some of these lower time frames, and if you follow this channel, some of the strategies I use to trade on lower time frames. Now, again, this is just a possible scenario that makes sense as we're coming down here. We have that downward momentum on market cipher B on the 4-hour. And if we don't get a wave crossover, somewhere in here where we were printing a green trigger wave, then we're probably going to keep coming down. So keep your eyes on market cipher B on the 4-hour. And, if we do print a green trigger wave here, then, that would be a perfect time to enter using the 4-hour, 24-minute strategy. But basically, guys, this is what I'm looking for. This is just a quick little update to discuss, exactly what I'm looking for before I look to enter a trade. Right now, I am thinking about that CME futures gap. Okay, we have downward momentum on the 4-hour. We have downward momentum on the 6-hour. And really, even on the 6-hour, we have this kind of, we can see market cipher kind of doing this, right? We can see kind of a downward direction here. You know, something similar to what we saw right here. Okay. So these are just things to keep in mind. But overall, I am very bullish. I do believe April is going to be a very bullish month for us. And I think that once we get these confirmations, then perhaps it would be a great time to enter a long position where once we get these two exponential moving averages, the 21 above the 55, once we're getting clear bullish momentum on the 4-hour time frame, then that's my signal to go long. In the meantime, you know, as long as we are trading on the moving averages, I am looking to enter smaller positions. I'm not looking to enter swing trades, but like I always say, when we're trading on the moving averages, that means, you know, we're consolidating. And because there's only three things price is going to do, right, guys? It's either going to be in an uptrend like this, or it's going to be in a downtrend like this, or it's going to be consolidating where price is just moving sideways, okay? And one of the great ways to know if we're in an uptrend, a downtrend, or moving sideways is by looking at these two moving averages. If price is above both the moving averages, we're in an uptrend. If price is below both the moving averages, we're in a downtrend. And if price is just trading on the moving averages, that means we're consolidating, and we should be looking for smaller entries. And this is where we go down to our lower time frames, like the 15-minute. You know, I like to do that. Let's see. I like to go on this chart here, go onto the 15-minute, and put on Market Cipher SR. And I like to trade based on, you know, the VWAP, Market Cipher B, and support and resistance levels. That's how I like to trade. Where, well, I won't get into that in this video, but I talk about that a lot in other videos, how I trade these areas of consolidation using Market Cipher SR. Yeah. So guys, overall, I just wanted to make this video to say, look, overall I'm bullish on Bitcoin, but I do think that we might see some downward movement before things start to really go up. So trade accordingly. Remember, don't enter any trade unless you're confident in the trade, unless you have your confirmations and Market Cipher is confirming along with your technical analysis that price is going to move in your direction. And if you're not confident in a trade, do not enter, because it's totally not worth it. The market will be here tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. There's always going to be an opportunity to enter a trade. But, you know, so don't feel like you're missing out just because you're not in a trade, okay? Some of the people can have a lot of success, myself included, by sitting on the sidelines and waiting for those perfect entries instead of just trying to be in a trade all the time. And, yeah, let me know what you guys think. You know, what's going to happen with the Bitcoin price in the coming week, in the coming month. Do you think April is going to be bullish or not? And yeah, join the free Discord, guys. The Discord is a thriving community right now. Some really awesome traders in there. Also, guys, I am officially on Patreon. If you want to check that out, link in the description. Yeah, if you're interested in the course, there's info in the description as well. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be live streaming, going over these things in much more detail, answering questions. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.